All right, Derby fans, we are getting close to getting back underway for our second bout of the evening. With that whistle, the regulators are going to be performing safety checks for the Brutal Beauties and the Schoolyard Scrappers. We just wanted to remind you guys of a few ground rules. Stay behind that yellow line on the ground at all times during game action unless you are part of the bout production staff. If you're supposed to be over that yellow line, you'll know it. So stay behind it if not. Keeps you out of the way of our production staff, our outside pack referees, and out of the way of any errant skates making their way off the track and into the back of your head. So please stay behind that yellow line at all times. Also, if you've parked in the dispensaries parking, your car is probably already getting towed. They are super serious. So you'll want to go move your vehicle if you parked in the dispensaries parking.
Let's do it.
All right, welcome back, Phoenix. I'm still your announcer, Old Greg. I'm going to ask you guys this one time. Are you ready for more hard-hitting Derby action? Welcome back to Arizona. Okay, I said one time, but I lied. That just wasn't good enough. It wasn't good enough. We got to try that again. Are you ready for more hard-hitting Derby action? Welcome back to Arizona's only live bank track roller derby here at the Hall of Dames.
And I'm Kills Bill. We watched a great first game there, and now let's get ready for this second round. These two teams are warmed up and ready to battle it out. Just a reminder, no whistling is allowed as it interrupts the game. Keep your hands, arms, feet, and everything else outside of the ride for your safety. Keep that outside of that yellow line on the floor there. With that being said, let's get this team started. All right, folks, put your hands together for your Brutal Beauties. All right, fans, skating tonight for the Beauties. Number 5150, Alibi. 244, Damn It, Jam It. Number 925, She's an Evil Twin. 011, Hittori Hanzo. Number 602, Lady Macbeth. 440, Morning Madness. 2323, Quiver Phoenix. Number 97, Rigamaroo. Number 95, Lightning the Queen. Number 217, Vavadoom. 666, your co-captain, Witchy Woman. And the captain of the Brutal Beauties, 2187, Princess Leia. Helping the team tonight on their bench are their bench coach, Effin Riot, and penalty manager, Gash Wednesday. Not skating tonight, 103, Abby Arsenic. Number 26, Beautiful Trauma. 480, Dizzy. 9MK3, Gypsy Danger. 717, Rocky Horror. And 731, Turbo Torture.
And now introducing the Schoolyard Scrappers.
Take a deep breath.
Not skating tonight, everybody else.
Tonight, that's right.
The rest of them.
And here we go in sub pool for the Beauties.
A bunch of Brutal Beauties with numbers pinned on their backs. Skating tonight for the Schoolyard Scrappers in blue, number 918, Ballistic Buffalo. 35, Bob Villain. Number 0 to 60, Carla Dang. Number 1984, Cruisin' for a Bruisin'. Number 724, Dolly Spartan. Number 31, Felony Storm. Number 144, IV Overdose. Number 68, Juicy Kill Tour. Number OMG, You're Killing Me, Smalls. Number 5, Made in Asia. Number 172, Pikachu. Number 619, Shorty Fierce. Number 1976, Striker Down. Number 241, Horchata. Number 34, your co-captain, Pretty Hurt Machine. And number 669, your captain of the Schoolyard Scrappers, Nikki Badass. Helping the team on the bench tonight, our bench coach, Bobby Ross, and penalty manager, Hate Ya Face, not skating tonight for the Schoolyard Scrappers, number 1212, Bonnie Banshee. We are just about to get underway here, Derby fans. Let's hear it from the crowd who is here to cheer on the Brutal Beauties this evening. Those ladies in pink. Where is our Schoolyard Scrappers contingent, the bullies in blue? We'll be getting underway here in just a second. Don't forget about that cash raffle. Forget about the cash raffle. We do have skaters coming around selling those raffle tickets, $5 for a ticket, or is it 6 for
3
20?
for 10, 6 for 20, yeah.
Yeah, 6 for 20. Get yourself a share of that. At last check, that was up pretty close to $600.
$750.
$750.
$750.
Yeah, so make sure you get yourself plenty of those raffle tickets. It's a 50-50 raffle, so half of it goes to the winner and half of it to the league. No, that's a space bar. It looks like we are just about ready to get started here. Setting up to jam is going to be Felony Storm for the Schoolyard Scrappers, and for the Brutal Beauties, it's Princess Leia. We are underway here in the first jam of the second bout of the evening. And barreling her way through the pack and emerging out the front end, that is Felony Storm for the Schoolyard Scrappers, and she is your lead jammer. Princess Leia doing battle there in the pack and trying to outrun those last blockers for the Scrappers at the front of the pack, able to get them pushed out of play. Felony Storm now is approaching the pack on a scoring pass, runs into a couple of blockers. Lightning McQueen out there in front trying to throw some blocks. Felony Storm gets through, calls off the jam after picking up her points. It's going to be 4 points for the Scrappers.
Here comes Dolly Spartan for the Schoolyard Scrappers and Witchy Woman for your Brutal Beauties. Witchy Woman battling her way to the front of the pack, but Dolly Spartan able to get out on low. Dolly Spartan is your lead jammer.
Witchy Women still trying to fight her way past those last two blockers and does so. Meanwhile, with a full head of steam, there goes Dolly Spartan up around the outside. Dolly Spartan takes a look. Witchy Woman was getting a head of steam built up there, heading back for the pack, so Dolly Spartan goes ahead and calls it off. Looks like we're going to have an early power jam. Indeed. We got a power jam for the Brutal Beauties here in the very, very early going. Schoolyard Scrappers have jumped out to an 8-0 lead after 2 jams.
Rigamaru going to do the honors. Gets tied up, though, behind the pack.
Rigamaru, a recent addition to the Brutal Beauties squad, trying to get her way through, is delivered sternly to the ground from a block there from one of the Schoolyard Scrappers.
Not going to give up. Still only halfway through this jam. Got a solid 4 wall of Scrappers in front of her, though. Rigamaru trying to push her way through. Get some help from Morning Madness. Trying to break up that line. Teammates not going to give up. But those Scrappers keep on recycling around in front of her.
Big block there from Killen May Smalls along the back straightaway, and that's going to do it. The clock expires on the power jam. Excellent defense by the Schoolyard Scrappers. Penalty kill.
Here comes Lady Macbeth for the Beauties. Nikki Badass coming to the line for the Schoolyard Scrappers.
Battling her way to the front of the pack is Nikki Badass for the Schoolyard Scrappers. And she's your lead jammer, trying to fight her way through and find herself some purchase. And out of the pack comes the jammer for the Brutal Beauties. Nikki Badass through the pack, gets her points, calls it off. We're going to have Princess Leia for the Brutal Beauties, and for the Schoolyard Scrappers, it's Felony Storm. Felony Storm once again exits the pack as the lead jammer for the Schoolyard Scrappers. Princess Leia just behind. And Felony Storm runs up into a solid wall of pink jerseys and goes ahead and calls off that jam.
Pikachu coming to the line for the Schoolyard Scrappers for the first time tonight. That's Witchy Woman for your Brutal Beauties.
Big collision along the front straightaway there, and Pikachu winds up buried underneath 2 skaters for their Beauties, but gets up and manages to survey a fractured pack and is able to get herself on through there. And Pikachu is your lead jammer for the Scrappers. Witchy Woman was bumped off the track by Dolly Spartan. Pikachu through the pack, picks up some points and calls off the jam.
Here comes Quiver Phoenix to the line for the Beauties, and that's Pretty Hurt Machine for the Scrappers coming down.
Getting ready now for this jam. And we are underway. It's Quiver Phoenix out there doing the power jam thing for the Brutal Beauties. Quiver Phoenix is up and out of the pack and is an active scorer in this Brutal Beauties power jam. 9 minutes and 15 seconds to go in the quarter. Beauties looking for their first points. Might as well get that out of the way early. There's Quiver Phoenix bumped off onto the infield. Now back up and trying to reestablish herself. Fighting her way to the front of the pack, trying to outrun Maiden Asia to the corner. Fighting her way through and almost able to stay on the inside of the track, but the blocker fell off as well, so she gets waved on around. 20 seconds to go here in the power jam. Quiver Phoenix going to try to get a couple more points.
5 seconds left in this jam. Quiver Phoenix making her way through the pack. Going to try to get by Maiden Asia, takes her off the track. Able to pick up 10 points, though, on that power jam. Brutal Beauties bringing it within 5 points.
Jamming now for the Brutal Beauties is Hattori Hanzo, and it's Ballistic Buffalo for the Schoolyard Scrappers, both first-time jammers this evening. And Ballistic Buffalo is out and is your lead jammer for the Schoolyard Scrappers. Hattori Hanzo trying to outrun that Scrapper defense to the end of the corner, but they are right there in front of her recycling and not letting her through without a fight. Nikki Badaz is delivering some shoulder blocks to her right now. Meanwhile, up to the front of the pack, the pivot for the Brutal Beauties trying to clear some space for their jammer, but Ballistic Buffalo is going to get on through the pack on a scoring pass with 23 seconds to go in the jam. Ballistic Buffalo is coming around for more. Hattori Hanzo ends up on the infield. Now able to tiptoe by those blockers on the front end and get through. Ballistic Buffalo picks up another scoring pass and calls off the jam. We've got Princess Leia for the Brutal Beauties and Pretty Hurt Machine for the Schoolyard Scrappers. A lot of fast-paced action in this jam already. Princess Leia out to the front now, and Princess Leia is the lead jammer for the Brutal Beauties. Pretty Hurt Machine escorted down onto the infield, so she has to get back up and reestablish. Took away all of her momentum, and those Brutal Beauties able to get up and reestablish in front of her. Morning Madness on the defense. Princess Leia, meanwhile, up to the outside and gets through the pack on a scoring pass. Pretty Hurt Machine now out of the pack as well, so Princess Leia's got one more crack at this. And Princess Leia down to the inside, jumps over a sliding block from a Schoolyard Scrapper blocker and picks up another scoring pass. 9 points for the Brutal Beauties. Lumbre de la Luna shouts out her approval, and the Brutal Beauties close the gap to 24-19. Witchy Woman on the jammer line for the Brutal Beauties. And for the Schoolyard Scrappers, it's Dolly Spartan.
Dolly Spartan gets right out on the low. Witchy Woman still stuck in the pack as Dolly Spartan set up her scoring pass. Witchy Woman gets out on the backstretch. Dolly Spartan finishes her scoring pass, gets herself back onto the track, and calls off the jam.
Fans, one more time, another important safety announcement. Please, during game action, so right now, if you're not part of the bout production staff, please remain behind the yellow line on the ground, unless you are a photographer or a member of the league crew, what have you. If you're supposed to be in front of that line, you'll know it. If not, please make sure you remain behind that yellow line during game action. It's got liability reasons and all sorts of stuff. Now we're going to step aside briefly here for a timeout. Looks like it is going to be a challenge. It is indeed a challenge. So one of the teams will be challenging a call during that last jam, and we'd like to take a second to tell you about some of our league sponsors, such as Devastation. They're your go-to shop for everything on wheels, from the raddest of rad roller skates to the bomb.com light-up wheels spinning on slicker than slick ball bearings. Let Devastation help you find the perfect riding gear to keep you protected while you're cruising. They're offering nearly everything skate-related, from nuts and stops to tools and bags on flashy wheels. Why don't you come check out those skate ninjas that are throwing them unicorn boots around? Visit devastation.com or stop by their warehouse at 2010 East University Drive in Tempe.
Also, folks, going to talk about the Arizona Derby Dames charity for this month. The charity this month is the Sojourner Center here in Phoenix. This organization is one of the largest domestic violence shelters in the United States for those escaping life-threatening and dangerous situations. Your Arizona Derby Dames volunteered with them this month, and they're asking for clothing donations through the end of January. Sojourner Center has a booth just outside with volunteers providing information on how to use services as well as how to volunteer and donate individually. If you came tonight with a clothing donation, please drop it by their table. Hey folks, be sure to visit the Arizona Derby Dames merchandise booth. Get your favorite league and team merchandise. We have t-shirts, tank tops, hats, koozies, beach towels, Christmas tree ornaments, as well as stickers and buttons of your favorite team. That's the Arizona Derby Dames merch booth right over here by the beer garden.
So we got the official word from Jam referee Hoover Slam. Came over and let us know that the Schoolyard Scrappers had a penalty called on their jammer during the last jam. The penalty was upheld. So challenge unsuccessful. Schoolyard Scrappers lose a timeout. And this will be a power jam for the Brutal Beauties once we get back to game action. Brutal Beauties currently down by 9 points. And they're going to look to change that right about now with Princess Leia back out there to jam for the Brutal Beauties. Oh, Captain, you're captain, doing the power jam thing. Princess Leia getting ping-ponged around in there. Those Schoolyard Scrappers blockers are not being kind. Trying to get some help from her teammate now and getting that wall of blockers pushed away. But not called out of play as the pack is there. And one of the skaters for the Brutal Beauties. So Princess Leia still trying to find some purchase here. Into the land of the Giants in there. Killing May Smalls, made in Asia, keying that defense for the Schoolyard Scrappers. And now Princess Leia is out and is an active scorer with 21 seconds to go here in the power jam. Princess Leia is going to try to get around once. And able to get through the pack with 9 seconds to go. Goes ahead and calls off the rest of the, burns the rest of the time off the clock and calls off the jam. However, a penalty was called on Princess Leia during that power jam, so she is in the penalty box. And it's a power jam for the Schoolyard Scrappers. Ballistic Buffalo doing the honors for the Scrappers now in this power jam situation, and she is already out of the pack. Schoolyard Scrappers now go from defense to offense and are going to try to hold this pack up as best they can. Ballistic Buffalo up to the pack, runs into those Brutal Beauties blockers on the front end of the pack and is able to get them pushed out of play. Gets through on a scoring pass. 30 seconds to go here in the power jam. 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. And there goes Ballistic Buffalo on her second scoring pass, coming around for thirds. Up to the high side that time, then weaved it down to the inside. Ballistic Buffalo picks up a third scoring pass and calls off the power jam. Gonna be a big one for the Schoolyard Scrappers. Let's take a look at the official score. 15 points for the Schoolyard Scrappers during that power jam. Builds their lead up to 43-24 with 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go here.
Quiver Phoenix on the jammer line for the Brutal Beauties. Felony Storm coming in the last minute for the Schoolyard Scrappers. Both of them try the high side, get jammed up there. Felony Storm takes a knee in turn one. Quiver Phoenix coming back onto the track, tied up behind some Scrappers at the back of the pack. Felony Storm is able to get out of the front. Quiver Phoenix knocked to the infield as Felony Storm is about to set up her scoring pass. Skaters ping-ponging off of one another. Felony Storm completes her scoring pass and calls off the jam.
Setting up the jam now is going to be Pikachu for the Schoolyard Scrappers and Witchy Woman for the Brutal Beauties.
Beauty's trying hard to hold the jammer at the back of the pack. If their jammer got out, it's already halfway around the track. Trying to hold Pikachu, but Pikachu gets out in the turn 2. Witchy Woman gliding through the pack. Runs into those last 2 blockers, Dolly Spartan and Bob Villain. Gets their points though, calls off the jam.
4 points for the Brutal Beauties there. Princess Leia is going to set up to jam for the Brutal Beauties, and it's going to be Pretty Hurt Machine jamming for the Schoolyard Scrappers. Scrappers up by 19 as we set up for what will most likely be the last jam of the first quarter. And there goes Pretty Hurt Machine for the Schoolyard Scrappers, immediately getting out of the pack and emerging as lead jammer. Princess Leia now out as well from behind and is about half a track behind. There goes Pretty Hurt Machine trying to see what she can get. Goes ahead and calls off the jam with Princess Leia coming on rapidly.
All right, folks, get those raffle tickets out.
We are at the end of the first quarter. That signal from Game Executioner Obi-Wan Kenobi. So, we'll step aside for a 5-minute quarter break. Schoolyard Scrappers 50, Brutal Beauties 28.
Get those pink raffle tickets out, folks. We got some rose gold perfume and some lotion, courtesy of the Runaway Brides here. If you've got raffle ticket number 897002, 897002, you're a winner. Come on down and claim your prize. Also, the 50-50 raffle is almost over $750.
We've got some merchandise coming around, a couple members of our national champion minor assaults. And just like that, that's all over. Once again, if you want to get a look at your national champion minor assaults, mark your calendars. Season 14's next bout is Saturday, February 9th, 2 weeks from tonight in this very building. Doors open at 5, first whistle at 6. It is going to be a doubleheader. First up is going to be the Bombshells, who you saw winning earlier tonight, taking on the Coffin Draggers. And then we had so much fun doing our Minor Assaults Hot Shots mashup bout 3 weeks ago that they're going to do it again. So our Minor Assaults are going to play a mashup with some of our Hot Shots, some of our Adult All-Stars. Our Hot Shots, of course, no slouches their own, finished second nationally last year in the Bank Track Tournament. And that'll all be here in 2 weeks, Saturday, February 9th. Bombshells versus Coffin Draggers, and then the Minor Assaults Hot Shots Mashup Part 2, which was a whole lot of fun a couple weeks ago. And we are ready to get back to game action. 15 minutes on the clock for the second quarter. Schoolyard Scrappers on top, 50-28. Lining up to jam is going to be Hitori Hanzo for the Brutal Beauties and Nikki Badaz for the Schoolyard Scrappers, and we're underway. Both jammers trying to find their way through the pack. Nikki Badaz up to the high side. Hitori Hanzo down to the inside. And there goes Hitori Hanzo. She's your lead jammer. Nikki Badaz right behind her and gaining with giant strides. So Hitori Hanzo calls that one off. So we'll set up for the next one. It's going to be Princess Leia for the Brutal Beauties. And it appears that we have a power jam for the Brutal Beauties. Indeed, it's going to be a Brutal Beauties power jam. Let's hear it from the Brutal Beauties contingent in the house. You guys still have a handful of fans over there. Princess Leia is going to try to fight her way through here. Power jam for the Brutal Beauties. Princess Leia waiting to get some assistance and find her way through the pack. Now up to the outside and racing along the rails, trying to outrun those two Schoolyard Scrappers to the edge of the corner. Not quite able to make it, though. Now she is out of the pack and clear and is an active scorer with 37 seconds to go in the power jam. Those four blockers for the Schoolyard Scrappers all together now. Princess Leia is going to try to find her way through. Thought she had an opening and bumped off onto the infield. Up and reestablishes, runs into one of the blockers again. Schoolyard Scrappers playing strong defense up on front of there. And that's going to do it on the jam. So 3 points there for Princess Leia during the power jam. Dolly Spartan is going to be jamming for the Schoolyard Scrappers and Witchy Women for the Brutal Beauties. Witchy Woman now to the front of the pack and is able to get past that last blocker for the Schoolyard Scrappers. And Witchy Woman is the lead jammer for the Brutal Beauties. Dolly Spartan now out as well, half a track behind. Witchy Woman trying to catch that pack. Schoolyard Scrappers now trying to push the pace of play. Witchy Woman now caught up and is going to try to find her way through there. Trying to get by a couple of them. Goes ahead and calls off the jam with Dolly Spartan catching those Brutal Beauties that were at the back of the pack.
All right, coming to the line now for the Brutal Beauties, it's Rigamaru. Felony Storm on the line for the Scrappers. Scrappers down one blocker here. Rigamaru tries the high side. Pretty Hurt Machine tries to stop her, but she's got some inertia. And there she goes. She's out in turn two. She's your lead jammer. Felony Storm still trying to get around to the pack. Tries the high side, gets knocked up to the rail. A lot of pink trying to keep her back. Rigamaru sets up her scoring pass. A fast pack, though. And Rigamaru ends up stopped behind a wall of solid bright blue jerseys.
The action just kind of ground to a halt there going into the first turn, and now we have a stoppage in play. It looks like the jam was called.
Let's see if we got any points there.
So 4 points for the Brutal Beauties, chipping away at that Schoolyard Scrapper lead.
Lady Macbeth on the line for the Beauties now. Pikachu for the Scrappers. Both jammers trying the high side. Pikachu able to get out, though. And just like that, she's halfway around the track, and she's setting up her scoring jam. A lot of collision at the back of the pack there. Lady Macbeth still working behind Nikki Badass and Dolly Spartan there. Got her work cut out for her. Pikachu gets out, makes her scoring pass, coming around for more. Still about 10 seconds left on this jam. Pikachu tied up behind a solid 4 wall of blockers. Picking up points one by one, though.
So now setting up the jam is going to be Felony Storm for the Schoolyard Scrappers, Princess Leia for the Brutal Beauties. And Blues down a jammer from the infield. Felony Storm called back to the bench. It's going to be a power jam for the Brutal Beauties. Princess Leia out there to do the honors. Your team captain is out there to do the power jam for the Brutal Beauties. Full complement of blockers. Full complement of blockers for the Scrappers as well. So Princess Leia is going to try to find her way through there. And finally able to emerge, and she is out and is an active scorer. 42 seconds to go here in the Brutal Beauties power jam. They're down by 22 right now, and Princess Leia is getting to work and is going to try to tap into that a little bit. Managed just to dodge a block from Maiden Asia, but then slowed up. So Maiden Asia now rejoins her teammates at the front of the pack. Scrapper defense has been stout all night, continuing on here into the second quarter. Princess Leia pushed down onto the infield.
Beauty's trying hard to get their jammer back out, get Leia back around. She's got 13 seconds left. Five seconds left.
Princess Leia tried to jump over a sliding block there from one of the Schoolyard Scrappers. We'll have to wait and see if she gets any points for any of the passing that happened there since she landed out of bounds. But we have a team timeout before we get to that. It's going to be a team timeout for the Brutal Beauties. They picked up 9 points on that power jam, so that takes our score to 57-44. Schoolyard Scrappers in front. Up by 13, but definitely not running away with it. The Brutal Beauties keeping this thing close, and we're going to take a brief breather. Fans, don't forget to visit the Arizona Derby Dames merchandise booth to get your favorite league and team merchandise. We've got t-shirts, tank tops, hats, koozies, beach towels, and stickers and buttons of your favorite team and more. It's all at the Arizona Derby Dames merch booth right here outside of turn number 3.
Hey, Derby fans, are you interested in getting your name mentioned here? Are you interested in you or your business being a season sponsor for the Arizona Derby Dames? There are several different sponsor packages available to suit your needs with many benefits to choose from. Find any Derby Dame today and they can point you in the right direction for sponsorship questions and information on how to become a league sponsor.
Plague Fitness is providing those infected by fitness, roller derby, and healthy living with clothing for that contagious lifestyle. Visit their website at plaguefitness.com. Copper Star Coffee is a locally owned coffee shop and cafe providing hand-blended drinks and award-winning baked goods. It's on the southwest corner of 7th Avenue and Heatherbrae, just north of Indian School Road. Copper Star Coffee.
Hey, folks, do you need some signage for your business? Above and Beyond Pallet Creations specializes in repurposing pallets into art. They've created all of the signage here in the Hall of Dames. For information on how to commission work, see Bobby Ross, the coach of the Schoolyard Scrappers. He's on the track right now, but you can also find him on Facebook, Above and Beyond Pallet Creations. See that good-looking Copper Star Coffee sign in the infield? Above and Beyond Pallet Creations.
So this has progressed into an official challenge. The Brutal Beauties challenging a ruling there during the last jam. So we will wait for them to discuss that along the back straightaway, as is the regulators' want. Derby fans, we already told you about our next bout, which is right here on Saturday, February 9th, but the weekend after that, Saturday, February 16th and Sunday, February 17th, President's Day weekend, is our annual Chingadera tournament. We have our very own hotshots competing against teams from California, Texas, and the greater Pennsylvania/New Jersey metro statistical area. They will all be here to compete all weekend long. We have 6 bouts on Saturday and 6 bouts on Sunday. That's the Chingadera tournament, and that is next month in 3 weeks. Saturday, February 16th, and Sunday, February 17th. So is everybody having a good time so far this evening? Yeah? Just a couple people. Who else going to the after party afterwards? After party. The after party's at Third Space, and you are all invited. Third Space is one of our league sponsors and also the official after party location. If you've never been there, they've got a cafe and a bar, wonderful fried bologna sandwiches. I tell everybody that'll listen to try the fried bologna sandwiches. I mean to tell you, they're amazing. And trust me, I eat a lot of food, so I should know. The fried bologna sandwiches are wonderful. There is ice cream, drinks, camaraderie. Your favorite Skittles will be there. That's at Third Space, which is on the corner of 11th Avenue and Grand Avenue. Head that way just after the end of this second bout tonight. And the penalty is upheld after review. Call stands. The Brutal Beauties lose a timeout for the unsuccessful challenge, and we'll get ready to get back to game action.
All right, folks, you ready for some roller derby?
Let's try that one more time from the audience to get these players ready to go for this rest of this second quarter. One more time. Are you ready for some roller derby? All righty. It's been a good bout so far, Bill. I can't lie. It's more than nothing. You can ask for more than this. Just a 13-point spread here halfway through the second quarter. This is what they call in the announcing business as stalling for time. Who's here to cheer on the Brutal Beauties? Hey! Who's here to cheer on the Schoolyard Scrappers? Who here got lost and doesn't know what they're doing here?
Hey now.
All right, I finally found a big group of people. We are back to the action. It is going to be a power jam since the Brutal Beauties did not win their challenge. So Felony Storm is going to do the honors, try to put some points.
Buffalo.
Excuse me, Ballistic Buffalo, that is. It's the other skater with long blonde hair on the Schoolyard Scrappers. Ballistic Buffalo is doing the power jam, and we'll try to get some points on the board for the Scrappers here. Fighting our way through the defense there at the front of the pack, and those blockers are called out of play. You push the blockers 20 feet from the pack. They can't block you anymore. Ballistic Buffalo gets out of the pack and is an active scorer. And Buffalo down to the inside, able to fight her way through. 20 seconds to go here in the Schoolyard Scrappers Power Jam. And Ballistic Buffalo trying to sneak through on the inside, gets bumped off onto the infield by the pivot for the Brutal Beauties. Gets through to finish her scoring pass, and that'll do it for the jam. Ballistic Buffalo picks up 10 points for the Schoolyard Scrappers there.
Here comes Juicy Kiltour for the Scrappers. That's Quiver Phoenix out there for the Brutal Beauties. Everybody getting settled in, waiting for the whistle. There we go. Quiver Phoenix tries the low, tries the high, still gets tied up in the back, knocked off the track. Juicy Kiltour gets knocked to the infield by Morning Madness, but they're out of play, so she gets back on the track, and she's off to the races. Quiver Phoenix trying to get behind one last scrapper, and she's out too. Beauty's trying to manage the speed. Juicy Kiltour runs into a four-wall of blockers and calls off the jam just as Quiver Phoenix comes up on the pack.
Setting up the jam now for the Brutal Beauties is going to be Hitori Hanzo, and it's going to be another power jam for the Brutal Beauties. We did have a penalty called there on Juicy Kiltour, so Hitori Hanzo out there by her lonesome for the Brutal Beauties. 5:30 to go here before halftime, and Hitori Hanzo is going to try to get some points on the board for the Brutal Beauties here. For the ladies in pink, trying to fight her way through. Trying to push those blockers far enough away, but she's got teammates mixed in there trying to help her out, so no out of play. Tori's still trying to find her way to the front of the pack there. Her blockers keep getting swallowed up by Schoolyard Scrappers blockers. Big block there. Hitori Hanzo delivered to the infield. 13 seconds to go in the power jam, and that Schoolyard Scrapper defense still holding firm. Hitori Hanzo again to the infield. Nikki Badaz takes her up to the rail. Again up to the rail by Nikki Badaz, not letting her through, and that's going to do it. The clock expires on the jam.
Beauties never gave up on that jam. Wave after wave trying to knock those Scrappers blockers out of the way. Just couldn't do it. They kept recycling in front of them. But great effort there.
This is going to be Quiver Phoenix jamming for the Brutal Beauties. And for the Schoolyard Scrappers, that's Felony Storm. And both jammers out. Quiver Phoenix briefly emerged the pack as lead jammer, but Felony Storm with a full head of steam rocketed past her. And Felony Storm is the lead jammer for the Schoolyard Scrappers. Felony Storm tries to pick up a couple of points, gets by the first skater, picks up that point and the ghost point and calls it off. Excuse me, no ghost points. There was nobody in the penalty box. I'm looking at the wrong side. Now it's going to be Pikachu for the Scrappers and Witchy Woman for the Beauties. And there goes Pikachu, and Pikachu is out and clear as your lead jammer for the Scrappers. Pikachu finds her way through the pack, got some help from her blockers there, and opened things up and allowed her to get through. The jammer for the Brutal Beauties, Witchy Woman, now emerges from the pack. So Pikachu now up to the pack on her second scoring pass and manages to go high and then angle back down through the pack. Complete another scoring pass and calls it off.
Here comes Pretty Hurt Machine for the Schoolyard Scrappers. And who's that out there for the Beauties? Was that Rigamaroo?
And we're going to have an official timeout. We will step aside from game action here momentarily.
Thank you. You did? Well, let's...
And it looks like we're ready to get back to the action. So once again, it's going to be Rigamaroo for the Brutal Beauties. And for the Schoolyard Scrappers, it's Pretty Hurt Machine. Rigamaroo to the front of the pack, trying to find her way through. Pretty Hurt Machine, that is. Able to find room along the inside there, and Pretty Hurt Machine is their lead jammer for the Scrappers. There goes Rigamaroo exiting the pack as well for the Brutal Beauties. Now here comes Pretty Hurt Machine on a scoring attempt up to the high side. Got some help from her blockers, able to dodge Quiver Phoenix, trying to get by that pivot. Calls off the jam before Rigamaroo can put any points on the board. Looks like we got Dolly Spartan setting up the jam for the Scrappers. And for the Brutal Beauties, it's Lady Macbeth, number 602. Dolly Spartan is out of the pack and is your lead jammer for the Scrappers. Scrappers currently enjoying just about a 40-point lead here heading into halftime. And there goes Lady Macbeth for the Brutal Beauties, out and clear. That's going to do it for the jam. Dolly Spartan calls that one off. Now we've got Felony Storm out there to jam for the Schoolyard Scrappers against Princess Leia. Scrappers are just doing it 3 to 4 points at a time, but they are really putting this thing, giving themselves quite a cushion as we get ready to head into halftime. Plenty of good defense from the Scrappers as well. They are really holding the Beauties down. And with that, Princess Leia able to exit the pack, and Princess Leia is the lead jammer for the Brutal Beauties. Felony Storm able to get around that last blocker as well, so she's out of the pack. Princess Leia bumped off onto the infield, tries to get up to reestablish, knocked off onto the infield again. She tries to get up, manages to get her wheels back on the track, and calls off the jam before losing lead jammer status. We are going to step aside. It is halftime. 3 points for the Brutal Beauties there. Means our halftime score is going to be Schoolyard Scrappers 83, Brutal Beauties 47, and we'll be back with you in just 15 minutes.
Hey, folks, get those pink raffle tickets out there. It's time for another raffle drawing. Pink raffle ticket tonight. Got a Scrapper goodie bag for you. If you've got pink raffle ticket number 897013, pink raffle ticket number 897013, come on down. You're a winner. Do you want me to turn on lost mode? What's going on? Do you need me to go look for it? Hey, folks, put your hands together for some of our minor assaults. Throwing out shirts to those who cheer the loudest. All of You Die and Amelia Dearhart. Hey, folks, that 50-50 raffle is at $775. Victoria Van Gore is walking around selling those blue raffle tickets. If you see her, grab one. We're going to push that thing over $800. That's $400 for the minor assaults and $400 for you. 50-50 raffle.
All right, fans, we are ready to get back underway here in the second half as the halftime clock reaches quadruple zeros. It is time to get back to Derby action. I am still your announcer, Old Greg, and I am looking forward to sipping on some Baileys tonight when I get home. Joined as always by Killsville. We're ready to get here for the second half. Your Schoolyard Scrappers up on top 83-47 in what has amounted to a defensive struggle for both teams. However, the Scrappers defense kept the Beauties under 50 points there in the first half, so a great defensive showing. We are underway with Hattori Hanzo jamming for the Brutal Beauties and Felony Storm for the Schoolyard Scrappers.
Both jammers knocked to the infield, but Felony Storm able to get out, dancing on that coping there, one skating it. She's about halfway around the track. Hattori Hanzo still trying to get by some Scrappers. Her teammates trying to help her get out. And here comes Felony Storm with the big collision at the back of the pack.
Hattori Hanzo out of the pack and gaining on the pack. Felony Storm checks around and calls it off before surrendering any points.
Lady Macbeth trying to hold off Felony Storm at the last minute.
We're going to have Princess Leia jamming for the Brutal Beauties, and for the Schoolyard Scrappers, that's Nikki Badass.
Couple captains going at it here early in the third.
Nikki Badass up to the high side. Princess Leia trying to follow her lead and then ducks down to the inside and darts through to take lead jammer. Nikki Badass about a quarter track behind. Princess Leia going to try to catch the pack here and get a couple of points. And did not set up like she was liking. Those Schoolyard Scrappers were linked together in an impenetrable wall of blue jerseys. So Princess Leia calls it off, and we'll reset for another jam. It's Witchy Woman for the Brutal Beauties and Pretty Hurt Machine for the Scrappers.
Scrapper's going to be down a blocker here. Pretty Hurt Machine able to start low, go high, and dance right out. She is out before turn one. Witchy Woman taken off the track, but able to reestablish herself and get back out there. Halfway behind. Half a track behind that is. Pretty Hurt Machine gets through the pack and calls off the jam.
And it looks like we're setting up for a power jam for the Schoolyard Scrappers. It's going to be Dolly Spartan for the Schoolyard Scrappers out there for the Scrappers Power Jam.
Looks like Witchy Woman picked up a cut there. Beauty's trying real hard to hold Dolly Spartan at the very end there. Just get pushed out of play and they got to let her go. Dolly Spartan working her way through the pack here in turns 2, 3, and 4.
And Dolly Spartan through the pack, untouched on another scoring pass. 5 seconds to go in this power jam, and she is not throwing up the white flag. Up around the outside again and got past a couple more skaters before that final whistle.
Lady Macbeth coming to the jammer line now. That's Felony Storm for your Schoolyard Scrappers.
13 points there for the Schoolyard Scrappers on the power jam, puts them over 100 for the bout, 103-47, with 11 minutes to go here in the third quarter.
Both teams back at full strength for this jam. Felony Storm taken to the infield by Pink. But she's able to dance her way out. But Lady Macbeth is right on her tail. Felony Storm calling it off as she goes to the high side, picking up a point, I think.
1 point there for Felony Storm.
5-point jam. 1 point jam.
Nikki Badass and Princess Leia, your two team captains, both on the jammer line now for the Scrappers and Beauties, respectively. And they're both out of the pack. Princess Leia out first. Nikki Badass right behind her. And it's going to be a jammer race to the front straightaway anyway. Started to get up out of my seat there, but Princess Leia surrendered the inside of the track to Nikki Badass and had to call off the jam. Witchy Woman for the Brutal Beauties and Pretty Hurt Machine for the Schoolyard Scrappers.
Witchy Woman getting out on the low, and Hurt Machine trying, dancing along the high. Gets out right behind her. She's not going to make this easy.
A lot of very fast skaters on the Schoolyard Scrappers. And when they get out behind, they are going to force the issue, and quick. Pikachu for the Schoolyard Scrappers. Hitori Hanzo for the Brutal Beauties. And down along the inside and finding an opening to take lead jammer status. There goes Pikachu for the Schoolyard Scrappers. Hitori Hanzo thought she had an opening, and Dolly Spartan says that's not an opening, that is a closed door. Now through the inside, Pikachu trying to get by, but knocked off onto the infield, so Pikachu will reestablish. And now Pikachu threw on a scoring pass and will be coming around for more. Hitori Hanzo still in the back of the pack for the Brutal Beauties with 20 seconds to go in this jam.
It's Morning Madness taking Pikachu to the infield there. Still able to get through.
Pikachu finishes the scoring pass just before the clock expires on the jam. 10-point jam for the Scrappers.
Quiver Phoenix out there for the Beauties. That's Felony Storm for the Scrappers again. Quiver Phoenix knocked to the infield. Felony Storm, though, able to get out there in turn one. Beauty's walling up behind her. She's about halfway around the track. Scrapper's trying to break up that wall. Felony Storm's knocked to the infield. Going to get behind everybody and reestablish herself on the track. Both teams not letting this go easy.
22 seconds to go in this jam. Still fighting, and both jammers trying to find their way through the pack. There goes Felony Storm, now able to find an opening along the inside and complete the scoring pass. And Felony Storm calls it off in the back straightaway.
Blue wall in front and a pink wall in back. It's hard to see how anybody can ever get out of some of these.
Once again, a captain on captain jam. Nikki Badass for the Scrappers and Princess Leia for the Beauties.
Beauty's picking up a lot of penalties on that one. It's a thin wall for them. Nikki Badass able to get out first, though. Princess Leia right behind her. Thought we just saw this a minute ago in the other order. And they call off the jam. I think they both called that off together.
It's going to be Pretty Hurt Machine for the Schoolyard Scrappers and Witchy Woman for the Brutal Beauties.
And that's Pretty Hurt Machine out first.
Witchy Woman exits the pack as well, was giving it her all and tripped up there and took a tumble right in the middle of the track, but back up on her skates. Pretty Hurt Machine now into the pack and is trying to fight her way through and outrun those blockers to the front of the pack. A good effort there by the Brutal Beauties blockers and forcing Pretty Hurt Machine to call off that jam after picking up 4 points. Dolly Spartan for the Schoolyard Scrappers. And Rigamaroo for the Brutal Beauties.
There it is.
I already called them the Brooties once. I got that out of the way early.
That's right. There we go. It's not the easiest job.
No, it's terrible.
Rigamaroo and Dolly Spartan, slow pack, still trying to get out. Haven't even gotten into turn 1 yet. Now they're battling. Teams trying to break up each other's walls. Dolly Spartan's your first jammer out. Rigamaroo dancing along the coping.
Rigamaroo able to get that last blocker pushed out of play, so Rigamaroo exits the pack. There goes Dolly Spartan on a scoring pass, zipped right through the pack there. And Dolly Spartan's going to call it off before Rigamaroo puts any points on the board. It's been, I think, a solid 9 to 10 minutes that the Schoolyard Scrappers have been just scoring 4-5, 4-3, 4-4 unanswered points. It's really been a dominating quarter for the Schoolyard Scrappers here coming out of halftime. And it's going to get more dominating because the Schoolyard Scrappers are lined up for a power jam. Felony Storm out there now to do the power jam thing for the Schoolyard Scrappers. With 3:40 to go here in the third quarter and a chance for the Scrappers to build on their lead. Felony Storm fighting her way through to the front of the pack and is your lead jammer out and clear. .30 seconds to go here in the power jam. Felony Storm doing battle on the front end of the pack with 3 blockers for the Brutal Beauties, able to get themselves all together. Witchy Woman is up there, it looks like. Also now a big collision there, trying to go in and insert herself into the equation. One of the Brutal Beauties blockers knocked off onto the infield. We got 8 seconds to go here in the power jam. That Beauties defense came together this time.
Beauty's got a nice 4-wall there. Felony Storm happy to let the jam clock just count down and expire.
We're going to have Pikachu jamming for the Schoolyard Scrappers. For the Brutal Beauties, and it's going to be Princess Leia for the Brutal Beauties. Trying to walk her way through on the inside. There goes Pikachu. Both jammers out. Pikachu goes ahead and calls off the jam. Princess Leia was going to make a game of it, but Pikachu calls it off. So Pretty Hurt Machine and Witchy Woman. Pretty Hurt Machine for the Scrappers. Witchy Woman for the Brutal Beauties. And taking lead jammer status is going to be Pretty Hurt Machine. Exits the pack in front, coming around for a scoring pass. Witchy Woman still trying to find a way through the pack. Pretty Hurt Machine able to navigate her way through and emerge from the pack. Her blockers helping her out there and help to let her through while also closing it off before Witchy Woman could get out of the pack herself. Pretty Hurt Machine up the middle of the pack and able to complete a scoring pass. Witchy Woman now out of the pack as well.
Very important announcement, folks. We're coming up on last call. Go ahead and get those refills in real quick.
Last call for
Liquor will
alcohol.
be no more beer after the beginning of the fourth, so you got about 6 minutes. Get on over there.
Yeah, and it looks like we're going to have Hitori Hanzo for the Brutal Beauties and Dolly Spartan for the Schoolyard Scrappers. Dolly Spartan right through the pack and is your lead jammer. Clock heading for quadruple zeros on the third quarter. This will probably be the last jam of the third quarter. Hitori Hanzo able to get out of the pack towards the front of it, so she is clear as well. Dolly Spartan gets through. And she goes ahead and calls off the jam. 4 more points for the Schoolyard Scrappers. Going to take our score up to the end of the third quarter. It's going to be 144 to 47. Schoolyard Scrappers on top. We'll step aside for our final quarter break.
All right, folks, like I said, last call for beer. We got about 4 minutes and 30 seconds left. Head on over there or give up. And one last time. Giving away some hats tonight, some T-shirts.
All right, Derby fans in attendance. I've got a special game I'd like to play for everybody. You know, I've been announcing here for a couple of years, and I've heard Luna de la Lumbre yelling in her unique style every bout. And so what I wanted to do now is, everybody in the building who knows how to yell like Luna, let's hear your best Luna on 3. You ready? 1, 2, 3.
Luna!
Can we hear the genuine article? Do we have Luna over there? Hi. Give us a Luna. Yeah, see, there you go. That's what you got to work for. Thank you very much, Frindle. I was thinking about doing that. I thought that'd be fun. We love you, Luna.
All right, folks, I got some last of the pink raffle tickets. Let's go ahead and get those pink raffle tickets out. Pink raffle ticket number 897061. Got a little bit of art coming to you. Number 897110. Number 897195. And then tonight's grand prize, a $300 Uncle Josh tattoo from Lost Dutchman, 897138. Raffle tickets, pink raffle tickets, 897061, 110, 897195, and 138. Come on down, claim your prizes.
Say, Killsville, have you heard about our national champion minors team?
Oh my goodness, the national champion minors team. Tell me.
Well, our minor assaults are national champions of the National Junior Battle on the Bank tournament, and they're going to be defending their title this June in Houston.
Oh, my goodness.
Several skaters, such as Cherry Kiss and Amelia Derhart, will be out to battle for supremacy.
Wow.
If you're a young lady between the ages of 10 to 17 who loves to skate, or do you know somebody who meets those very simple criteria? Minor Assaults are a nonprofit 501c3, and they're always looking for new skaters to join the team. Our coaches not only teach technique and knowledge of the sport, but they also help build leadership, teamwork, and problem-solving skills that'll help in life situations far beyond roller derby. Minor skating skills, dedication to learn, and a positive mental attitude are all that we require. Come see what all the fun is about. Ask any Arizona Derby dame how to get involved, or visit our website at azddinspire.org for information on donating or sponsoring our national champion, Minor Assaults. So there we go. We are ready for 15 more minutes of derby action. The Schoolyard Scrappers really, really, really dominated that third quarter. Put about 60 points on the board in the third quarter, and I think kept the Brutal Beauties under 10, so really built on their lead. And we are underway here in the fourth quarter, and that's going to be Pretty Hurt Machine jamming for the Schoolyard Scrappers, and is your lead jammer. Finally finding her way out of the pack. There goes Lady Macbeth for the Brutal Beauties. Big tumble there, another big collision. All sorts of hard-hitting action. Pretty Hurt Machine able to dodge a block from Witchy Woman and get through the pack on a scoring pass. And that'll do it for that jam. Ballistic Buffalo is going to be jamming for the Schoolyard Scrappers.
Evil Twin.
And that's going to be Evil Twin jamming for the first time for the Brutal Beauties. Evil Twin, number 925. Had to take a second, and there she goes, Evil Twin out of the pack as well. Ballistic Buffalo now on her scoring pass. Manages to get by everybody there and takes a tumble, but able to stay on the track and calls off that jam. So we will set up for the next one. It's going to be Witchy Woman for the Brutal Beauties and Felony Storm for the Schoolyard Scrappers. And fighting her way to the front of the pack, there goes Witchy Woman, and she's the lead jammer for the Brutal Beauties. Felony Storm able to find her way out of the pack as well, about a half track behind. Witchy Woman up to the pack now, runs into a solid wall of Scrappers jerseys and calls off the jam.
One point for the Beauties. Beauties trying to find some points here early in the fourth.
Hitori Hanzo will be jamming for the Beauties and Dolly Spartan for the Schoolyard Scrappers.
Slow start to this jam. Dolly Spartan bouncing her way to the front of the pack. Hitori Hanzo tied up behind a couple of Scrappers at the back of the pack. Dolly Spartan halfway around the track now, coming up on the pack. Hitori Hanzo still trying to get by that front line wall of Scrappers. Her teammates trying to make holes for her, taking other skaters out of the way, but Bob Villain and Nikki Badass just not going to let her by.
Dolly Spartan now, meanwhile, gets through on a scoring pass, navigates her way through the pack. There goes Tori Hanzo through the front of the pack, and the Schoolyard Scrappers content to just let her go ahead and head on through with less than 10 seconds to go on the jam clock. Dolly Spartan ducks her head through and tries to pick up a few more points there before the jam clock expires. Picks up 14. Dolly Spartan finishes a third scoring pass and gets 4 more points to tack on to the 2 she did complete. So 14 points for Dolly Spartan. Quiver Phoenix now is going to jam for the Brutal Beauties. For the Schoolyard Scrappers, it's Pretty Hurt Machine. Pretty Hurt Machine fighting her way through the pack and exits the pack as your lead jammer.
Hurt able to dance her way through that wall.
Now Pretty Hurt Machine on a scoring pass, and again right through goes Pretty Hurt Machine. Quiver Phoenix still trying to fight her way through that Scrapper defense and now able to get on through the pack. So Quiver Phoenix out of the pack. Pretty Hurt Machine now trying to find her way through, blocked up into the rail by Witchy Woman. And Pretty Hurt Machine calls it off before giving up any points. We are going to have Princess Leia for the Brutal Beauties and Nikki Badass for the Schoolyard Scrappers.
No. I was interested. I'm like, okay, wait.
We will get back to the game action here. It is going to be Dolly Spartan jamming for the Schoolyard Scrappers. And Dolly Spartan is out there all by her lonesome. It is a power jam for the Schoolyard Scrappers. We did have a penalty called on the Brutal Beauties jammer there in the last jam. Dolly Spartan down along the inside and races through to become an active scorer with 50 seconds to go in the power jam. It looks like Dolly Spartan's got possibly 20 points on her mind here at the rate she is getting around the track. One scoring pass in her pocket. Now coming around for her second. Up to the outside, runs into a closed door there. Gets knocked off stride just slightly, trying to get through that Brutal Beauty defense. The Beauties are going to try to keep her hemmed in. And there goes Dolly Spartan, finishing the scoring pass. But the Brutal Beauties did eat some time off the clock there. Dolly Spartan with 8 seconds to go in the power jam now. Down the front straightaway, trying to find her way through. Couple of seconds left to go, and there goes the jam clock. So we will wait for the official score, and we'll see if Dolly Spartan was able to finish that final scoring pass.
Got Lady Macbeth coming out there for the Brutal Beauties, and that's Cruising for a Bruisin', taking the line for the Scrappers.
We are underway, Cruising for a Bruisin' now, quickly trying to find our way through at the front of the pack. hemmed in with some of those Brutal Beauties blockers at the front of the pack, trying to find her way through and battling her way out. There goes the lead blocker. Excuse me, lead jammer. It's Lady McDeath for the Brutal Beauties. Lady McDeath now up to the pack, cruising for a bruise and still trying to find her way out of the pack. Brutal Beauties holding her in and escorting her down onto the infield. Brutal Beauties picking up 5 points there. Get some points on the board here in the quarter. Nikki Badaz is setting up the jam for the Schoolyard Scrappers. Hitori Hanzo for the Brutal Beauties. However, looks like we got it sorted out. It's going to be a power jam for the Brutal Beauties. Hitori Hanzo out there by her lonesome. Penalty called on the jammer for the Schoolyard Scrappers, cruising for a bruising in the last jam. So there goes Hitori Hanzo along the inside of the track and is able to get out and get clear. And is an active scorer here in the power jam. So Hitori Hanzo is coming around for her first scoring pass. See if she can get some points on the board. Up to the pack, manages to get through and then pushes past that last blocker. Strike her down and is able to get on through. Hitori Hanzo with 30 seconds to go here in the power jam, now making her way around. And Hitori Hanzo trying to get by on the inside, blocked onto the infield, and then the Schoolyard Scrapper who did the block and got blocked onto the infield herself. Hitori Hanzo finishes the scoring pass. That's going to do it for the power jam. And a good effort there by Hitori Hanzo on the Brutal Beauties power jam. Beauties pick up 10 points there. Pretty hurt machine for the Schoolyard Scrappers and Witchy Woman for the Brutal Beauties. Tightly bunched pack now making their way into the back straightaway. There goes Witchy Woman. Pretty hurt machine racing out of the pack, and Witchy Woman calls off the jam before surrendering lead jammer status. It's going to be Nikki Badaz now for the Schoolyard Scrappers. And it's going to be a power jam. Even in that brief jam, there was enough time for Witchy Woman to accumulate a penalty. So Nikki Badaz now by herself out there doing the power jam for the Schoolyard Scrappers. And Nikki just waited patiently, waited for her blockers to help her out, and then manages to duck inside of a blocker there at the end of the turn and emerges from the pack. Nikki Badaz now with points on her mind, catches up to the pack, weaves to the outside, then tries to go around the inside, but bumped off onto the infield. Up to the outside, now ricochets off of a blocker there towards that rail. Pushes the blockers out of the way and disposes with both of them, and Nikki Badaz is through on a scoring pass. "15 seconds to go here in the power jam. Nikki Badaz has completed her second scoring pass and coming around for some more. And Nikki Badaz weaving her way through the pack and finishes the third scoring pass. It's a 15-point power jam for the Schoolyard Scrappers, pushing them up over 200 for the bout. 2:07 to 63 with 3 minutes and 38 seconds to go here in regulation. It looks like we've got cruising for a bruise and jamming again for the Schoolyard Scrappers. The Brutal Beauties jammer is out and clear, and is your lead jammer. Got a little far away before I saw who it was. That is Quiver Phoenix. Where Phoenix is the lead jammer for the Brutal Beauties. And there goes Quiver Phoenix for the Brutal Beauties out of the pack, cruising for a bruising. Tangled up in the middle of the pack, got some skaters falling over each other. And just over 5 seconds to go here in the jam. Witchy Woman still trying to finish a scoring pass. Cruising for a bruising out of the pack, however, penalty assessed to cruising for a bruising, so she'll be in the penalty box. And it's going to be a penalty jam for the Brutal Beauties coming up. Hitori Hanzo out there to do the power jam. $10 points for the Bruties there. And it's a double jammer down situation. Turns out penalty assessed to the Beauties jammer as well. So, Dolly Spartan now out there, not a power jam. Dolly Spartan ready to jam for the Scrappers. Less than 2 minutes to go in regulation. And Dolly Spartan quickly to the front of the pack and is your lead jammer for the Scrappers. Hitori Hanzo still trying to find her way through. And a big block there. Looked like Princess Leia delivered a block to Nikki Badass. Nikki Badass knocked off her feet. Hitori Hanzo is out in front. Dolly Spartan gaining quickly. And Dolly Spartan calls it off. Dolly Spartan was trying to get back to the pack before Hitori Hanzo. Dolly was the lead jammer there. We got Witchy Woman for the Brutal Beauties and Felony Storm for the Schoolyard Scrappers. Under 1 minute to go in regulation, and this jam is underway. And Felony Storm out of the pack and is your lead jammer for the Scrappers. More time on the jam clock than the game clock, so depending on how this shakes out, this could be the last jam in regulation. They're trying to spring Witchy Woman free at the front of the pack, and they do so. Felony Storm now trying to find her way through on a scoring pass. And Felony Storm calls it off. So we will set up for the last regulation jam for sure this time. It's going to be Pikachu jamming for the Schoolyard Scrappers and Princess Leia for the Brutal Beauties. And there we go. Pikachu is the lead jammer for the Schoolyard Scrappers. Princess Leia finds her way up to the outside of the track and is able to outrun those Schoolyard Scrappers blockers to the front of the pack. So Pikachu now is going to try to get a couple of points on the board. Calls off the jam. Clock is at quadruple zeros. We will wait and find out if there will be any penalty jams. If there are penalties called on the team that's ahead and none called on the team that's behind, we'll continue with penalty jams. But we will have to wait and see if that is going to be the case. And stepping trackside is head referee Lollipop. And with that, that's going to do it. We have wrapped up this game. Game over. Final score, Schoolyard Scrappers 223, Brutal Beauties 73. Come on down trackside and slap hands with your favorite skaters as they come on around. The victorious Schoolyard Scrappers. And let's go ahead and hear it for the Brutal Beauties. A lot of their skaters were down and injured this evening. You heard the pregame announcements. They had 6 skaters sidelined tonight. Some subs came to help out, a couple skaters from other teams to help them compete this evening, and they fought hard. Scrappers were just on top throughout. All right, we are going to step aside and hand away some raffle prizes. But before we do that, before we hand out raffle prizes, important announcement. Everybody, can I get your attention, please? Any AZDD members here tonight that can help us clean up afterwards, Miss Nashty has politely asked if anybody could help us clean up afterwards. We only have 2 fresh meat people here tonight, and they will be overwhelmed. So many hands make light work. Anybody with the league that can help us clean out tonight, we would really appreciate it once we get done with everything and get ready to shut down. Thank you so much from Nashty and everybody here.
All right, folks, get your pink raffle tickets out. I've got 2 unclaimed pink raffle tickets.